All right, traders, welcome to today's recap. This is Christian from Hart's Tribeca Trade Group, and it is Monday the 24th, and pretty nice trading day all around today. We started in the red today. There was a little bit of volatility around the open, and if you chilled out for a little bit and just kind of let things settle in, there was some nice performance today. So the S&P was down 30 basis points. So another, if we could zoom in here, just to kind of I don't know, micromanage this a little bit. I would say another inside day, so not really a big deal. You know, this was Thursday's big move up. Friday we tried to go higher, and then today we continued selling off from where we were on the highs of Friday. But we're right into the 5-period exponential moving average support, so we'll see what we do from here on. And I mean, I don't really have a major view on if we're going to continue to grind higher. You know, we're kind of sitting right here. So I still think, you know, picking out individual names in this market is the way to go. Not so much trading just futures or the overall market. That's my view. Qs really had ended up 0.5%, and I'm not sure if that's right in Thinkorswim. Yep. That's right, up 0.5%. They were the worst perform out of the major indices. These were down, getting hit. I think it was down what, -1% today, if that's right. And we battled back from where we opened. Like I said, if you kind of chilled out for a little bit, that first 5-minute bar, which we've been seeing lately, is a nasty one. And then it was basically 45-degree angle, a little bit of a hop and a skip there, but 45-degree angle straight up and to the right. So this will be a little bit more smoothed out on the hour bar, but you could see from where we sold off last week and a move up, and we're back above value. So really nice performance, and nice to see this group get going. I think IWM or small caps, they also bounced, maybe not to the same extent. They were still down 37 basis points. They're still trying to get into value, and I think they're a good watch for tomorrow. So they continue to underperform, and the Qs had the nice move back. Now, you know, my quick 2 cents on this, if you watched my weekend video about index rebalancing, you know, this really pushed some of these names that have been the winners. There was a rotation, certainly a rotation out of growth and into value, and we've been seeing that the last couple of weeks, but it really reached a head last week where some growth names really got hit pretty hard. And yeah, I mean, that's not the only factor out there, was index rebalancing, but I think was a pretty good you know, a pretty good portion of that, and pretty impactful. And you know what I did, you know, I could just basically tell you how I positioned. I bought Amazon right at the close yesterday, and then I actually added to it today because I thought it was a gift this morning that it was down, you know, so much. And you could see it bounce back. So, you know, we'll see if buyers continue to return. You know, that's also generally the case besides the index rebalancing, which is very mechanical in nature. You know, it just also happens where you know, names get rotated out of, and then once they become cheap again, money comes back in. So this still has work to do, Amazon, and I took some profits today. You know, it's got to get above the short-term moving averages, and it's got to get above, you know, the value area as well, which is basically sitting right here. So, you know, as they say, Rome wasn't built in a day. I think this is really good progress. You got a nice hammer bar on the 50-day moving average. So we'll see if that continues for the rest of the week and maybe gets out of this consolidation. So I think, like I said, pretty good. There was one other thing I was going to say. Oh, yeah, so besides this, you know, I can go through all the FANG stocks, but, you know, and we did see some call buying, by the way. So, you know, we caught this pretty nicely in our Option X program, which you can go to our website and you can now purchase this. We've now rolled this out. So I shot a video earlier today. I'll be sending that out a little bit later. But this is available $129 a month for non-TTG, non-Tribeca Trade Group members. If you're a member, you do get a discount. But you know, this is a great system, and you know, we're catching all the action. So here is the action today, for example, in Amazon. And if we just look at the sweeps, you can fetch the data, and then you go over to TradeView. And there was a couple of trades that caught my eye. Specifically, it was the 2080s went up aggressively. 2030s. Here it was. So this particular one right in here, not a huge order, but it just kind of signaled that there was some buying going on and a little bit aggressive sweep opening position there in Amazon. So I thought that was good. We also saw one of those in Goog. Whenever they buy options in Google, it's always through Goog, not Google. I don't know exactly why. But this one also got hit pretty hard. I did not do anything with this one, but I think it's interesting. Netflix, I don't go through these every day. Netflix, I think, is hanging around this level. So again, up 2.3% after that. Those massive sellers were there on Friday because of the index changes. So that's that group. And then also, it wasn't just FANG stocks and tech that got hit or that have been being held down. Look at ABMD, and we caught this one as well. There were some calls that went up. We don't really see a lot of calls go up in this one. Look at this, up 9% and through that downward trend line. So I would pay attention. I would keep an eye on this one. A name that if you watched my videos last week, probably a top name that I mentioned was Edward Life Sciences. So sometimes they really do know what they're talking about when they buy calls. Again, repeat activity has always been, in my opinion, a better signal than just a one-off. And I think we saw Edwards calls go up aggressively 3 times, and this name launched higher, gap up 7.7%. Really, really nice move. And this was we saw the call action here, and into here. So this was a better signal. Sometimes we see option activity and it's on the highs after a big move where they're chasing. That was not chasing, last week and a half, 2 weeks. So real nice move there. Also biotech, while I'm with the biotech group or healthcare names, IBB made a nice move from lows to highs. This was started the day as one of the best, or actually migrated to one of the best groups of the day, stalled out a little bit, and then finished up 1.2%. So not bad. I think XBI did the same. I actually like the IBB chart a little bit better. Another chart that I've been watching in terms of ETF is PSCH, getting closer. Not exactly a bounce on the 50-day moving average, but it did finish in the green. It's another one to kind of keep on your radar, I think, considering the performance has been so good and considering it's come into the 50-day moving average, which I think has been a good buying opportunity. Where? Here, 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 almost here, here. So it's right there. A few other names that we saw today that were of note. I mentioned ABMD. What's the other one? DXCM, I think, is pretty notable as well. Again, these are high-priced stocks. The options are a little bit difficult, but man, that's a pretty nice looking move. Sticking with growth names, Goose is right there. It's been just hanging around the last couple weeks. I would watch for a push out in this name. It was up 1.3%, but of course, can get going a little bit further. Shifting over to a couple of the software names. Zscaler, I believe, had a pretty nice day, up 3.2%, and that's back above the short-term moving averages. I think pretty interesting. One name that I'm watching, which I don't think did anything today, was CSX. Inside day today. Keep an eye on that name. It's something that I've gotten alerts set on, and I'm watching pretty closely. Energy names also performed very well. Where did crude end up today? Crude finished up 2%. Did it give back any of those gains? Let's see. Nope. Getting close to this high. So, there's a bunch of different names that we're seeing some call action in, but I think the XLE is not a bad way to play it. Back over here, we've been seeing call action in RIG. RIG, oops, what happened here? Back over here, to recent highs. We'll see if it can punch through, but it's getting a little bit overbought here. I don't have anything on here, but I think XLE is kind of interesting. I would almost rather just own the whole group. XOP is also another way. I mean, XOP moves. So, out and above the top of value, I think, is interesting. Just shifting back to the option activity for the day. A couple names I already talked about: ABMD. I already talked about Amazon. So, this is another. This is one that's seen call activity the last few weeks. Monster move today of 17%. What a candle! Really, really nice in CRC. That did see some more calls, but that's really been seeing call activity the last few weeks. MLNX. This is another, I believe it's a software play or a tech. Oh, sorry, semi play. Right in, all the way down into the 50-day, not the 50, the 200-day moving average. So watch this thing possibly for a bounce. I don't think a buy signal yet, but you could basically use, doesn't matter. I think you can use that 200-day moving average. If it fails there, then I would get out. A couple other names, and I'll show you a couple other charts. PDD, new China IPO name, or fairly recent IPO name. Some more call activity in this one. Finished up 3.5%. I talked about how this was a bullish setup last week after it crossed this particular line. Very strong. PLT, I'm not going to go through each one of these charts. VRNS I thought was also interesting. And there was a decent amount of put activity today in the first couple hours. A lot centered around the industrials. So maybe just, because of the trade headlines, but it seemed like there was more put buying in that particular sector than anything else. Huntsman, FDX, EXPD puts, none of these orders were that large. Boeing puts maybe a little bit of protection there. And then just finally, just a couple other charts that I had sent out to members through the day. Let's see what else. We talked about this one, DXCM. Well, there's a couple other ones, but I'll leave that at that. Last one I'll say is AXTA continues to see call spread action. This is Axalta Coating. It did fall 2.3% today, but they are going out like way far with call spread. So, this is a chance when a name where we've seen repeat call activity, the name's down 2.3%, you might be able to get into the trade a little bit cheaper than what you see on the tape. All right, so that's it for the day. I think, like I said, Rome wasn't built in a day, but I think really good to see the growth names. If you're more of a growth investor or trader, I think now that that index rebalance is through, you might see things start to revert back without seeing that heavy selling pressure that we saw last week. All right, thanks for watching tonight's video. And again, if you're interested in the Option X program, you could either email me direct. You can just use my Gmail address, cfromhertz@gmail.com, or you could just go to our website and purchase. But a beautiful system that we've created, and I'm excited about it. Thanks very much for watching, and have a great night.